second half. Yeah, but overall, I thought the defense, took some made some strides today. I thought we were a little more disruptive, and obviously liked the way we shared the ball. 23 assists, 12 turnovers is obviously not what we wanted there. But thought Cam was great. Obviously Alex was great, and loved what Steph did out there. And Haas and Solo off the bench really gave us a lift.
Is that the kind of impact you're looking for Haas to make when he comes into a game?
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at his, he made some adjustments with his shot in the off season to, decrease some of the arc, because he was shooting a little bit of a heavy ball, and we did triple sessions this week here, so these guys got a lot of shooting in, and I think you saw that today. Just not having classes just freed up a lot of time, I think, for these guys to really get in the gym with us and to really practice the shooting, and Haas was impactful, all over the court. Defensively, he was a pest, and he put guys in good spots too.
Yeah, a slow start. Obviously, is that attributed to the layoff, and what kind of changed there when you turned it around?
Yeah, I think overall, for the most part, the group that started the game had a pretty good approach. I just think the timing was off a little bit. The heart rate was up. His first time back in the arena. I think sometimes just that getting into the flow of a game. I thought we were trying to do the right things offensively. It just, we couldn't get our rhythm, couldn't get our timing. But then I thought that next 25 minutes, I thought we were pretty good on offense.
Dan, the four-guard lineup seemed like it really worked. It gave you guys a spark in the first half, especially even with Tristan out. What did you like from them, and why was that able to work?
Yeah, I think Steph can obviously guard fours. We have bigger guards. And obviously, we had a fair amount of shooting on the court. You had Alex on the court with Cam and Solo, and T-New, and so there's a lot of shooting on the court, and just become tough to guard when you got so much shooting. There's obviously a lot of opportunities to drive the ball, and obviously with Donovan out, such an impactful player not in there, we're going to have to play some unique lineups.
With Steph, he's struggled offensively, but he's made other contributions since he's come back from injury. How important was this game for him to see the ball go in the basket?
You said Steph?
Steph.
Yeah, I mean, we can't do this without Steph having an Andre-like impact with defense, with getting paint and creating for others. He's not gonna be who Andre Jackson was as a junior in terms of just the man stuff that guy was doing, but he's got the size to improve our defense significantly our rebounding, creating shots for our shooters and our finishers at the rim. And he's growing up. I mean, he had some moments there where he learned some things about ball security, and just your head's always got to be on a swivel out there when you catch the ball versus the zone at the nail, or you're pushing in transition. Just the ball's got to be it's got to be on a string. Everything's got to be sharp and tight. For the most part, there's not a lot of freshmen in the country that are helping their team win games. There's a lot of freshmen around the country either not playing or helping their teams lose. And I do think that, like, our freshmen, Cam Solo, Steph Solo, I think Jay Stu tonight getting in there was important for him. Jay Ross getting in. I think these guys have the potential to help us win this year.
Coach, what does it say about your offensive weapons that you could put up 85 points and your leading scorer got none?
Yeah, and I'm not smiling. I'm not smiling because I don't want to see a national championship point guard have a scoreless night, but it does speak to the strength of who we are. We got a lot of guys that can beat you, and balance is what creates successful teams. If you can't win when your leading scorer doesn't play well, you're not much of a team. And Alex is a second half of the year killer, on the court killer. this guy, what he's going to do in the second half of the year. It's going to be the same thing that he did in the second half of last year. And then I loved how Cam, really stepped it up at the defensive end of the court tonight. But the key to our success is balance. This thing is not about any one player.
46% from three-point range. Is that something that can be contagious when like Cam starts getting it going and then Alex starts getting it going?
Yeah, I just think, first of all, Alex, again, some guys just, they heat up after Christmas. I just think you have players that, find their rhythm, like as the year goes by. And I think you saw that with Alex last year. Cam's an excellent shooter. Alex is an excellent shooter. People that watch solo ball shoot every day know that he is a very, very good shooter. And Haas is a guy that people have to guard. So the shooting's there. Our numbers are going to go up.
Coach, the team started to settle into the game when the paint vacated when Sampson came out. How do you think your guys attacked the basket with the empty paint?
Yeah, I think it was just probably a coincidence that that we just kind of found a rhythm. I'm not sure if it had anything to do with with Sampson not being on the court, because even when Sampson's not getting rolls and lobs, the defense really it's put in a position where they've got to protect the paint as he's rolling, and it does create a lot of things. But I just think it took us some time. And credit DePaul, they came out. They're a Big East team. They got Big East players, and they're playing. They're playing the defending champs who have a 4 next to their name. Everyone that we play, we're going to get their best shot.
Dan, you mentioned Steph and Andre kind of in the same sentence. And you want Steph to be his own guy, but do you have him watching stuff on Andre? Time on him?
Yeah, it was funny. I asked Kamani yesterday in practice because he did an anti-Andre thing, and I said to Kamani, how many edits have we sent him on how Andre played for us? Because that's a little bit of a template for what we need him to do. He does some things differently, obviously, but he can have a similar impact. It's not going to be the same. Andre was one of the most impactful players in the country, and he was a grown man. So, and Steph's still a young player, but he can impact us that way. And I think he's just scratching the surface.
You held them to 8 baskets in the first half. Can you just talk about the defensive intensity coming off such a long range?
Yeah, I mean, we've been bad defensively. The Ken Palm, the Ken Palm, they're still using projections on what they thought our defense would be. Our own internal analytics say that we're far worse defensively than what Ken Palm says we are. So if we guard like that, we will not be a team that can win this league, regular season or conference, and we will not be a team that can make a deep run in a tournament. Now, listen, Donovan is one of the most impactful players in the country at both ends of the court. His numbers don't do justice to how much of a difference he makes on the court. But our defense has got to take a major step up from here on out, or else we will not be contenders in anything. We'll be pretenders.
Is Alex a fun player to coach? Seem like he's really taken that sophomore leap you talked about and just looks like a leader out there. Was last year, but even more so.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. He'll never get the credit because he's not a bozo. He's not a bozo on social media and doing all the shit. That all these people now do in sports. He's just a problem solver. He's an everyday guy. He's he's becoming a better leader. He's maybe the smartest player in the country. I mean, he solves so many things out on the court. The example he sets with work ethic and in the classroom, and just everything that he does. I mean, he's like too good to be true. And like, it's going to suck when he's done here, because yeah.
We've already seen how hard it's going to be to win on the road in the Big East. How do you feel about going to Butler and Xavier?
Yeah, these games are going to be tough. It's tough to win. I think you see it across college basketball. Specifically when you get to conference play, everybody knows each other so well, and with the transient nature of rosters and the portal and NIL and everything, it's cultures aren't as strong across the board because of these things, and I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing. I think it's harder to build a strong culture and a connected team that could withstand crowd environments and maybe a different whistle than you'd get at home. So but we've played well in neutrals. We played well out in Seattle. We got these 17 games here that we got to play at a championship level. Every one of these regular season games, and we can't give any of them away if we want to have a chance to win the regular season.
What do you think of Sampson's performance tonight? I mean, he was an efficient scorer tonight, going 4 or 5 and had 4 blocks, but he also struggled at points. He only came off with 1 rebound and gave up 4 fouls. So what do you think when you're looking at it?
Yeah, he protected the rim real well. Obviously, I thought early on he set a tone at the rim. He's got to grow and become smarter when people are being physical with him. Like, he's got to break the contact. He's got to step back and not wrestle. And then when Nelson was backing him down in the post with his left shoulder and barreling into him on the first or second tap, he's got to take a charge. He's just got to get smarter in terms of playing positional defense, getting more vertical when shots go up, and being able to sit on a lead shoulder when a guy's backing him into the post and take a charge. It's hard to take 2 or 3 really brutal shots to your chest when you get dislodged. Now you find yourself under the rim in a very vulnerable position. So he's got to get smarter that way. But he's getting a lot of experience this year. He'll get better.
Yeah, I'm sure you talk about Cam after pretty much every game. You kind of knew what you were getting. Is he more than you even thought he was going to be?
Yeah.
Toughness and all that stuff.
I mean, listen, the strength of the team is the collective. It's what we have with Tristan and what we have with Cam and what we have with Alex. And then what we have with Donovan and Sampson at center, and then what Steph showed tonight, and then what Solo and Haas gave us off the bench. And now, if we could get Jay Stu, in the mix where he could become a rotation guy for us. Again, the Tristan, Alex, Donovan, Cam Spencer. There's not too many teams in the country that have 4 guys that can go and get 14, 15, 20, 22 on any given night. So that's the strength of the group.
Yeah, talking about the team defense, what are the areas that you're sort of prioritizing?
Just guarding the ball. We've been just a super soft, like a wet tissue, guarding dribble drive. We're doing a really bad job off the ball in ball screen defense. A lot of times it has very little to do with the 4 players involved with the ball screen. It's the player on the 2 side, the low man oftentimes letting us down. And then some, I just think just the toughness, an ability to win one-on-one battles. We've been bad individually, guarding people this year.
What do you think is the next step for Jalen? Obviously, he had double-digit minutes tonight, but
I think we were hoping to get him 12 to 14 today too, but we'd started badly. So it was tough to get him in. I wanted to try to get him in within the first 8 minutes, but we were struggling to find a rhythm, and it just wouldn't have been a good point to put him in too. But you could see the instincts are there, and the passing and an ability to do some things. He's a really talented player, and he's going to be a great player here at UConn if we could just keep him fighting and keep him trusting.
anything else for Coach?
Thank you. Happy New Year.